because the facts are what they are. Our children suffered greater than they would have suffered if they had all caught COVID all together. Been in the classroom just catching COVID. For all of us that are millennials, you guys, these are the people that are going to be running the world when we're at our most vulnerable ages. Like when we're in our 50s and 60s and 70s, when we need people to take care of us and make good policies regarding elderly, we got these children.
It's your red-pilled brown girl. Oh, when it just makes sense. Oh, it's your red-pilled brown girl. And get into the truth. It's your red-pilled brown girl.
Hey everyone, it's Crystal. It's your red-pilled brown girl. It is always a good day when people start to see the light in
raising a family in America, whether it's now or 50 years ago or 20 years down the road, we still have to keep our eye on what I think are core issues in America. And I think the backbone of America is the family unit. I really think that if we have strong families, if we have strong family values, and I think that our families in America, as you've heard me say and read me say, are under attack.
Coming on over. Come on over. Come on over, baby. Come on over. Come on over, Dr. Phil. Come on over. Yes! Dr. Phil took these broads to school, okay? Period. Talking about this Peter Pan-demic. I had to borrow that from He Is Blanchard. The Peter Pandemic, the make-believe pandemic, you guys. That's exactly what it was. Like it or not, I'm sorry. I know some of y'all still walking around with face diapers looking stupid. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. If you still wearing a mask right now, bless, how the old folks, bless your heart. Anyway, Dr. Phil talks to these ladies about the schools. And I was so glad that he highlighted this. You guys, I have been screaming from the top of my lungs that no one cares about our children. No one cares about our children. And he finally brought it up that we have not talked about the damage that was done with our children in this Peter pandemic. Watch what he has to say. And I think that this is so amazing that he's having the courage to go on national TV and take these chicks to school.
And kids stopped living their lives and started watching people live their lives. And so we saw the biggest spike and the highest levels of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and suicidality since records have ever been kept. And it's just continued on and on and on. And then COVID hits 10 years later, and the same agencies that knew that are the agencies that shut down the schools for 2 years. Who does that? Who takes away the support system for these children? Who takes them away and shuts it down? And by the way, when they shut it down, they stopped the mandated reporters from being able to see children that were being abused and sexually molested, and in fact sent them home and abandoned them to their abusers with no way to watch, and referrals dropped 50 to 60%. So
there was also a pandemic going on, and they were trying to save
kids' lives. Remember, we know a lot of folks who died during this. So it wasn't, people weren't laying around eating bond, but, well, you know what? We're lucky. Maybe we're lucky they didn't, because we kept them out of the places that they could be sick, because no one wanted to believe we had an issue.
Are you saying no school children died of COVID?
I'm saying it was the safest group. They were the less vulnerable group, and they suffered and will suffer more from the mismanagement of COVID than they will from the exposure to COVID. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
And then they try to like double down. Well, people were dying. Y'all, people were not dying in the streets. People were not passing out and falling out the way they made us afraid. It was a common cold. Yes, people died. People got sick. Was it in the large, massive scale that they wanted us to think, that they needed to lock us in our houses, that they shut down our businesses, shut down our churches, shut down our schools? No, it was not. Okay, it just wasn't. The people who were vulnerable, we needed to focus on those, but we did not need to shut everything down. It's just not true, and we have to admit that the people who died, you know, I sympathize and empathize with their families, because they were people that were a part of the vulnerable population, and I think we should have focused on that. But the damage and the death that was, the internal death that was done with a lot of the children is probably more important than the lives that have been lost. Because, I mean, our children are sick. Our children are overweight. Our children are suffering with PTSD. They're not able to compete on certain levels. And you guys, we're not talking about this. Like what are we going to do about this? For all of us that are millennials, you guys, these are the people that are going to be running the world when we're at our most vulnerable ages. Like when we're in our 50s and 60s and 70s, when we need people to take care of us and make good policies regarding elderly, we got these children in charge. So the fact that we're not even talking about it, the fact that we're not trying to hold anybody accountable for the damage that's done to these children is insane to me. It is insane. And so I hope that with this Dr. Phil interview, it brings up a conversation for us to just even... Some kids' parents are idiots. They are. And some kids' parents are violent, abusive, toxic. And school kind of provides them a relief. Well, what happened is, and Dr. Phil talks about it, is we sent those kids home to be with their abusers. And the facts are what they are. Our children suffered greater than they would have suffered if they had all caught COVID all together. Been in the classroom just catching COVID. They caught something even worse, which is destruction, mental health issues. I mean, our children are so violent. I was watching something and I'll put like where these kids are fighting and they're violent and crime and they're stealing and they're killing. It is crazy what our children are suffering through. And if you want to just be selfish, like, that's going to be our future leaders. That's going to be our future leaders. Those that are going to be the people making policy on our behalf. It's like desperation at this point. And we can't ignore it. Somebody needs to pay the price for what happened to those children. Somebody needs to be held accountable. Where all these politicians, they put their kids in private school. They didn't care nothing about their kids. They didn't care nothing about these kids. The private schools stayed open, you guys. And the poor kids suffered. I don't know, man. I really, really don't. And a country that doesn't take care of its youth or its children is a country that is destined for extinction. A people that is destined for extinction. I really don't know. And that's something that I don't know what the answer is to, but the answer to ignore it, the answer can't be ignore it. The answer can't be, oh, it is what it is. It is something that we're going to have to deal with. And I hope we do it sooner than later. I don't know. I don't know what you think, you guys. Let me know. I really am so interested in this topic because these are my kids, you know, like my kids share the future with these kids. They're going to be future employers, future spouses, future interactions with these people. And it depresses me. It makes me really, really think. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's talk about it. Let's have these difficult conversations. And until next time, peace.